And so in your role as a major crimes detective, did you have occasion to work and have contact with Lori Vallow?
Yes, I did.
What was your contact with Lori? What was your first contact with Lori Vallow?
My first contact with Lori Vallow was January 25th, 2020.
Okay. What caused you to come in contact with Lori Vallow in January of 2020?
I was assisting members from the Rexburg Police Department to serve a legal document.
Okay. And how was it that you came to be a part of assisting Rexburg, Idaho police officers in serving legal documents on Lori Vallow?
Oh, well, they all flew over to Kauai for whatever their investigation was into the matter, and then we had an operational briefing, and they asked for assistance to help locate and serve that document.
Okay. And was Lori Vallow, and there's water there if you need it.
Yes,
okay.
Thank you.
I'm assuming, given your answer, that Lori Vallow was located?
Yes, ma'am.
Where was she located?
She was located at the address of 4141 Queen Emma Drive in Princeville, which is a condo complex, and she was in the swimming pool area.
Okay. Who was with her?
Chad Daybell.
Okay. And who went up to serve her those legal papers?
Detective Cataluna served those the papers.
Okay. Who was present from law enforcement when Detective Cataluna served those papers?
Also with Detective Cataluna was Lieutenant Christopher Collio and myself.
Okay. Were you with the detective and the lieutenant the entire time that they went in to serve the papers on Lori Vallow?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
Was that service recorded in any way?
Yes, it was.
How was the service of papers on Lori Vallow from Idaho, those papers from Idaho, how was that service completed?
She was provided a copy, and then she was asked if she had any questions.
Okay. And after that happened, was that recording captured and saved?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
And were you the person responsible for making a copy and saving the recording of the service on Lori Vallow in Hawaii?
Yes, I was.
Okay. And did you make a copy and turn it over to anyone?
Yes, I did.
Who did you turn it over to?
The Rexburg Police Department.
Okay. And prior to coming to court today, did you make another copy for use in trial of that recording of service of papers on Lori Vallow?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay. And did you put it on a thumb drive and mark it with your initials?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, I'd ask the court that the court hand Officer Nesbitt State's Exhibit 205.
You may be.
Thank you. And I apologize. I think I called you officer. It's detective, right?
Either one is fine.
Okay. Detective, do you recognize State's Exhibit 205?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What is it?
It's the thumb drive that I saved a copy of the recording on.
Okay. And did you prepare that thumb drive?
Yes, I did.
Is it other than the recording of the service of paper on Lori Vallow in January of 2020, is there anything else on that thumb drive?
No, there isn't.
Okay, so the only thing on there, just to be clear for the court, is the recording of Lori Vallow being served with Idaho papers.
That is correct.
Okay. Your Honor, I move for the admission of State's Exhibit 205.
Any objection?
No.
Okay. I request permission for the admission if I missed that, and then I request permission to play it for the jury.
It's admitted without objection, and it may be published.
Thank you, Judge.
Do you have any questions regarding that? So it is 14:39 hours on January 25th. Any questions? Do you have any questions for that? No? Okay. I have a nice day.
Now, sir, those papers, were they part of an investigation into missing children?
Yes, ma'am.
And there were orders on the defendant to produce J.J. Vallow?
Yes.
Okay. And that was the service we just saw
Yes, ma'am.
of an order on Lori Vallow to produce J.J. Vallow?
Correct.
What date was that again? I apologize. I'm not sure I got the specific date.
It was served on January 25th, 2020.
Did you have any additional connection with the investigation into finding J.J. Vallow and or questioning Lori Vallow?
Yes, I did.
What was your next involvement?
My next involvement is I was assigned to execute search warrant
Okay. And search warrant on what?
on the person of Lori Vallow, the person of Chad Daybell, a vehicle, and the condo.
Okay. And what date did you, were you part of a search warrant team?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you weren't by yourself.
No, ma'am.
What date did you guys execute the search warrant involving Lori Vallow in Hawaii?
On January 26th.
The next day?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so when you went to execute that search warrant, where were they found?
They were found driving a vehicle southbound from Princeville towards Louis, which is about a 30-minute drive, and they were going to Kaua'i Beach Resort.
Okay. And how was it law enforcement came into contact with Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell?
As far as, like, the traffic stop?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. There was a traffic stop initiated at Kaua'i Beach Resort.
Okay. And so at the traffic stop, who was driving the car?
Lori Vallow.
Okay. And who else was in the car?
Chad Daybell.
Okay. At the traffic stop, was anybody, taken out of the car?
Yes.
Okay. Who was taken out of the car?
Both occupants, Lori and Chad.
Okay. At any point, was Ms. Vallow given an opportunity to receive her personal paperwork or her personal items?
Yes, she was.
Okay. Can you tell us about how that happened?
So we provided her with a copy of the search warrant, and then we allowed her to take some items that she might need, such as her cash or if she had any medication or anything like that.
When you say we, who's we?
Myself, Detective Cataluna, and Lieutenant Collio, and there was some other people there.
Okay. So when you allowed the Lori Vallow to obtain some of her personal paperwork, where did you guys go to, where did you locate that paperwork?
At her vehicle.
Okay. Was she present?
Yes, she was.
Okay. What paperwork or items was she trying to have you give her?
Well, we were just going to give her back her cash from her purse and give her back some items that she might. I think she had some medication in there, and then because we had the search warrant, we looked through her purse, and then we put it back in the car.
Okay. So as you're looking through her purse, did you find any credit cards or any information?
Yes.
What information or credit cards did you find?
So Detective Cataluna was looking through. I think she had some medication in there, and then because we had the search warrant, we looked through her purse, and then we put it back in the car.
Okay. So as you're looking through her purse, did you find any credit cards or any information?
Yes.
What information or credit cards did you find?
So Detective Cataluna was looking through her credit cards and counting her money, and when he was looking through the credit cards, he handed them to me to put inside a plastic bag to give back to Lori whatever he didn't need for the investigation. And then when he passed them to me, I looked through them again, and I saw one with the name. I saw a credit card with the name of Tylee Ryan.
Okay. So when you found the items with the credit cards and the card with Tylee Ryan's name, did that stick out to you?
Well, yes, it did.
Okay, why?
Because she was part of the missing children that we were helping them look for.
Okay. So what did you do with the card that was in Tylee Ryan's name?
That was held back, and then I put it back in the car.
Okay. When you say held back from the stuff that the defendant was going to be allowed to take herself?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And you put it in the car. Where did you put it in the car?
On the front seat.
Okay. And then was the car itself searched after the defendant was given some personal effects?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
Okay. And was that search documented in any way?
Yes, it was.
Okay. How was it documented?
It's documented. We execute the search warrant, and then we recover whatever evidence that we need for our investigation. We bag it and tag it, put the report number, and there's a property number that goes on there, and then I sign my initials on there.
Okay. And does anybody take any effort to take photographs of that process?
Yes.
Okay. And were photographs taken of the search of Lori Vallow's car in Hawaii on January 26, 2020?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And have you had an opportunity to look at those photographs?
I have.
Okay. Let me hand you what has been marked State's Exhibit 234Z. I apologize, 234A through Z, a copy of which has been provided to the court as a courtesy, and a courtesy copy has been given to defense counsel before today.
Can I clarify one thing?
One moment. We'll do that in just a second. Okay.
And in the A through Z, are there any missing letters in there, Ms. Smith, just to clarify? I didn't look yet. I'm just...
I don't believe so, Judge, but
Okay.
Sadly, crazier things have happened.
I've got all of them in my...
Okay, good. I believe all of them are there, Judge. I did double check. Do you need water?
Oh, I have.
Okay. Before you look at those, there was something you requested to clarify. What would you like to clarify?
I wasn't sure what the date was that you said on the execution of the search warrant for the vehicle.
What is the date for the execution of the search warrant?
That was done on January 28th, so 2 days after.
Okay, thank you. Take a look at State's Exhibits 234A to 234Z. Do you recognize those? And please look at all of them as a group. Do you recognize each one of those items in State's Exhibit 234A?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay. How is it that you can recognize those pictures or the objects in those pictures?
The objects in the pictures I recovered while I executed the search warrant.
Okay, so was it your responsibility to obtain the evidence that's depicted in those pictures?
Yes, it was.
And then what did you do with the items that you collected?
They were bag and tagged, sealed with evidence tape. My signature was put on them along with a report number and a property number, and then they were turned into the evidence locker.
Okay. And when you located those items in the car, do the state's exhibits 234A to 234Z both depict the location of where you found those items?
Yes.
And are true and accurate depictions of some of the items you found?
That is correct.
Okay. I move for the admission of State's Exhibit 234A to 234Z, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, exhibits 234A through Z, which contain each of those alphabetically, are all admitted.
Okay. Thank you. I request permission to display for the jury.
You may publish that.
That was loud. All right. Let me show you what has been marked state and admitted as State's Exhibit 234A. Let me zoom that out. What is reflected in State's Exhibit 234A?
The rental vehicle of Lori, Vallow, and Chad Daybell, 2019 black Ford Explorer.
Okay. And where is the car located when these pictures are taken?
The car is located inside the evidence warehouse.
Okay. And is that where you did the search and collected the evidence?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What is depicted in State's Exhibit 234B?
That's the front driver's seat of the vehicle with her purse on the front seat.
Okay. Now, you had mentioned you had put the credit card or the card of Tylee Ryan back in the car. When you put it back in the car, where did you initially put it?
On the front seat.
Okay, near her purse?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And is it visible in this picture?
No, it's not.
Okay. What happened to the card of Tylee Ryan after you put it back in the car?
I presume that it slipped to the side when I was loading the car on top of the tow truck for the evidence tow.
And why do you presume that?
Because I had it on the front seat, and then I jumped in to assist with the tow, with the evidence tow, and then it was later found on the little in between the driver's seat and that in the bottom of the door.
Let me show you what has been marked as State's Exhibit 234C. What's that?
That's a more close-up shot of her purse.
Okay. And State's Exhibit 234D, what's this?
That's a partial view of the credit card that fell from the front seat to that door jamb area.
Okay. So the credit card had been in Lori Vallow's purse?
Yes.
And then it was taken out, you identified it, and then it was put in the car?
Correct.
And then it slipped between the seat and the door?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's a picture of where it landed?
Yes, it is.
Okay. What is State's Exhibit 234E?
That's the...
Can you see that? What is that one?
That's the credit card.
Okay. And the name on it, the light reflection is not?
It's Tylee Ryan.
Okay. State's Exhibit 234F. Just get that down.
That's the back of the same credit card.
Okay. And what are we seeing in State's Exhibit 234G?
Lori Vallow's cell phone that was found in the side pocket of her purse.
Okay. And was that cell phone seized?
Yes, it was.
And then what did you do with the stuff you seized again, just so we're clear?
They were what we call bag and tagged. Evidence tape is put on there. They're photographed, and then they're submitted into the evidence locker.
Okay. And was the items eventually shipped and given to the Rexburg PD?
Yes, they were.
State's Exhibit 234H. What are we looking at here?
That's the rear passenger side of the vehicle, and there's a on the bottom of the floorboard you can see a blue and white striped bag. That's a Robin Ruth bag that was recovered.
Okay. When you say that was recovered, did you find anything of potential evidentiary value in that bag?
Yes, I did.
What did you find in that bag?
That bag had several personal documents. It had birth certificates, death certificates, and I believe a marriage certificate, had a rental agreements, and patriarchal blessing, and
A lot of items in there?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. So did you take that bag and seize it?
Yes, I did.
And did you seize its contents?
Yes, I did.
For completeness sake, what is State's Exhibit 234I?
To the left of the door on the far left-hand bottom corner, that's another picture of the bag on the floorboard.
So when you say in the far left corner of the image?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so just so that I'm clear, it's this?
That is correct.
Okay. What is reflected in State's Exhibit 234J?
That's the rear cargo area of the vehicle.
Okay. Did you seize anything that you felt might be of significance from the rear cargo of the vehicle?
Yes, I did.
What'd you seize?
There was a black JanSport backpack, and inside of that backpack, I seized 2 computers.
Okay. All right. Now, you mentioned the blue bag from the back seat. Is that what we're looking at in State's Exhibit 234K?
Yes, it is.
And then you indicated that you seized the items from the blue bag. Please tell us what's in State's Exhibit 234L.
There's a couple folders that have a lot of those personal documents, and two Apple laptops. There's actually 3 all total in that bag, and then there's a book and a couple other folders.
Okay. Is State's Exhibit 234M a copy of one of the Apple products that you seized? An image of one of the Apple products you seized?
Yes, it was.
In State's Exhibit 234N, is this another one of the Apple products you seized
Yes, it is.
and that were conveyed to Rexburg PD for analysis?
Correct.
And State's Exhibit 234O, is this one of the other devices you seized?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what initials are in the back of that device in the otter box?
J.J.
In the red letters? Those are
yes.
Okay. And State's Exhibit 234P, what is that?
That's the front of that same Apple tablet.
Okay, and that Apple tablet with JJ's name on it, that's the front of it?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Now, you mentioned some personal papers.
Yes.
Okay, pour your water. I'm with you. You need a drink?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Let me show you what's in State's Exhibit 234Q. What are those?
Uh,
Are those some of the personal papers you seized?
yes, it is.
Okay. Do you need me to zoom in to be able to see which ones?
Yes, please.
Okay. Let's start with the image that's on the left side of the picture. Can you see that?
Honestly, no, I cannot read the...
Need me to zoom in? You need me to zoom in?
Well, when it does, I think it gets blurry, so I can't see that. Okay.
Let me do it one more time.
Okay.
Can you read it?
Yes.
Okay. What is the document on the left side of the picture?
On the left side of the picture, it's State of Arizona Certificate of Death, named in the name of Leland Charles Anthony Vallow.
Okay. And so that's a death certificate for Leland or Charles Vallow.
Correct.
Okay. How many copies did you find of Charles Vallow's death certificate in Lori Vallow's rental?
There was roughly 14 or 15 copies.
Okay.
Excuse me.
That's all right. And what is the document on the right-hand side of the picture?
That's a document of the condo complex that they were staying at.
Okay. What do we see, what are the papers we see in State's Exhibit 234R? And do you need me to zoom out?
Just a little bit. Can you push the one on the left down just a little bit so that the top is showing? There you go. So that's a State of Louisiana certification of birth in the name of Joshua Jackson Vallow.
Is there an additional certification of death on the very right-hand side of the picture?
Yes, there is.
Who is that for?
It's issued by the State of Arizona in the name of Leland Charles Anthony Vallow.
And that's another one of the copies you found?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. There appear to be some Social Security cards in the picture. Let me move it over. Can you read those?
Yes, I can.
Whose Social Security cards were in that car in Hawaii?
Tylee Ryan and Joshua Vallow.
Okay. And the investigation was into a disappearance into both Tylee and J.J., correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And the paperwork served on Lori a couple of days before this search was for her to produce both Tylee and J.J.?
That is correct.
Okay. Above, in the image, above the Social Security cards for J.J. and Tylee, it looks like there's some school paperwork.
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us what that says?
It's a receipt from the Madison School District in the name of received from Joshua Vallow.
And at the top of the image, if you can read it, what do we see? You may zoom.
Yes, please.
Is it still too blurry?
No.
Can you read it?
Yes. Department of State Health Services Vital Statistics. Okay, I can't really read that last word, but it's in the name of Tylee Ryan.
And then there were some items in a bag in the picture. Can you see what those are?
Yes.
What were those?
State of Louisiana certification of birth in the name of Kanan Trahan.
Okay. Which of the papers do we see depicted in State's Exhibit 234S? And I'll zoom out. Can you read those?
Yes, I can.
What are those?
Certification of birth issued by the state of Louisiana in the name of Kanan Trahan.
Do you remember how many copies of JJ's birth certificate under any name, Kanan Trahan or J.J. Vallow, were in that bag?
There were several. I don't know how many offhand.
Okay. Of the papers from that car, what do we see in State's Exhibit 234T? And I'm going to zoom out unless you need me. Can you read that?
Yes.
What is that?
That's a Blue Sky Property Management Residency and Financials document for a lease agreement in the name of Lori Vallow, Tylee Ryan, and Joshua Vallow. It looks like it's dated 8/26/2019.
And at the very top, that address is in Idaho? If you can read it.
Yes, Rexburg, Idaho.
And in State's Exhibit 234U, let me zoom out a little bit. What are we looking at here?
That was a patriarchal blessing from Chad Daybell to Alexander Cox, dated November 24th, 2019.
And that's just a copy of the front page?
Yes.
Now, turning to that black Jansport bag, is this what we see in State's Exhibit 234V?
Yes.
Okay. In State's Exhibit 234W, there's an image there. What is that?
It's a plastic bag containing an envelope with U.S. currency
Okay. Where did you find that?
inside the backpack.
Okay. And in State's Exhibit 234X, what is this?
That's a patient clinical summary with a bunch of sticky notes on it.
Okay. And can you read the names at the top? Or do you need me to zoom in?
The top of the summary or the sticky notes?
I'll ask a better question. The top of the typed paper.
I can't read. Excuse me, I can't read the name on that. Lori Vallow.
Okay. And then you indicated there's some stickies. It's the blue stickies we see in the picture?
Yes.
Okay. Did you see any of the information on those?
I don't know what any of those mean.
Okay. Are there various words?
Yes.
Okay. Starting at the bottom, do you see, what's the word at the words at the bottom? Can you read it?
I'm not. I can see it, but I don't know what that word is. If it says gens or.
Judge, I think that, I'm going to object here. I think that the exhibit speaks for itself. He doesn't know what it is. He doesn't know anything about these specific words on this page. So I think that has lack of foundation for him to be able to testify as to what these things are.
Well, the exhibit speaks for itself, so I'll sustain it on those grounds.
Okay, for the completeness of the record, can I ask him to read the words he sees without saying what it means? Or I'm not asking him to speculate.
Well, the exhibit's admitted. If there are certain words that go towards your direct, you can ask on those.
Okay, thank you. The sticky note down here, can you read the words?
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
Thank you, Judge. Can you read the words?
I can read Blake and Hilpus.
Okay. And then there's a sticky note above that. Does that appear to be the word Brandon?
Objection, leading.
Sustained.
What's the word you see above that?
Brandon.
Okay. And do you see a word below that?
Yes.
And if you want to spell it, that's fine.
ANGO.
Okay. And then there's a sticky note above the name Brandon or the word Brandon.
Yes.
What is that?
Gomad and twice. One written in cursive and one written in regular print, and the word hope.
Okay. And then there's sticky notes to the left side. Is that the word Brighton?
Objection, leading, Judge.
I was just trying to move it forward, Judge. I can ask him. Can you read that word?
Yes, Brighton.
Okay, thank you. And do you see, if you need to spell it, do you see words below that?
ILRON.
Okay. And then there's a sticky note down below. Can you read that?
I cannot read that one. I can read the one below it.
Okay.
Judge, I think now we're getting into a point where she's blowing things up to a point where it's being prejudicial.
Well, unfortunately, Judge, with the lighting in here, it's hard for him to see. Can I have him handed the hard copy?
Yeah, there's also a light on that projector that I think can be used. And I'll overrule that objection. I don't find it's prejudicial to try to.
Oh, thank you. Does that help you see it, or would seeing the original be better?
Seeing the original would be better. I can't decipher that, and honestly, my eyes are pretty bad.
Okay. May he be handed back States Exhibit 234X?
Yes.
Okay. You able to see it?
No, I'm sorry. I can only see the bottom one.
And the bottom one is?
Gladius.
Okay. Thank you. May I have that back? Thank you. And two more. States Exhibits 234Y. What are those? Let me zoom out. What are those?
It's a Apple laptop, MacBook, and a HP laptop.
Okay. And those are the laptops you said you seized from the black backpack?
That is correct.
And those were turned over to eventually to Rexford PD for analysis?
Yes, they were.
Okay. And State's Exhibit 234Z, do you recognize this?
Yes.
What is that?
It's the backside of the HP laptop.
One moment, Your Honor. Let me check with co-counsel, but I think I'm done.
Okay.
One last question. Did you also participate in the search of a condo where Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell were living?
Yes, I did.
And in that search, did you find anything of evidentiary value?
Yes, I did.
What'd you find?
Two separate items that were, one was a Agnaro brand silicone-like rings, and then there was another bag, I think it was Thunderfit rings, silicone rings.
Okay. Any evidence that there were children there?
No.
I have nothing further.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Smith.